Welcome to yet another broadcast of the weekly free instant tournament. Let me just check the settings here to see if everything is fine. Yes, it is. So let's share the screen and go to BBO. Moment, here we go. So most of you are probably acquainted with the structure of the weekly free instant tournament, but for those who are not, this is an 8-deal match point tournament. You can find it under the solitaire tab in your BBO screen. Weekly free instant tournament. 8 deals, match point scoring. Usually some interesting deals to discuss. And we begin with a very strong hand. Partner is a best hand, so it's not as if we are sure to have a game or something like that, but it's promising because we have many tricks. So for instance, if it goes, will be 2 diamonds here. It's well within range for a 2-diamond overcall. But if partner raises, I'll probably try 3 no trumps because all I need is the ace of diamonds in his hand to get to 9 tricks, right? Make 7 diamonds and 2 aces. So let's see. Now, it's not so easy because clubs became a threat once East bid them. If East had not bid them, I would probably risk 2 no trumps here. The ace-10 of hearts are an interesting stopper because any slight help from partner promotes into a double stopper. We have the entries, but now that they bid clubs, it became really dangerous to try 3 no trumps, just to bash 3 no trumps here without any assurances that partner has the ace of diamonds. If we knew that partner had the ace of diamonds, I would risk 3 no trumps, even with clubs wide open. Maybe they don't have 5 clubs to cash. But from the bidding so far, I think partner is not a favorite to have the ace of diamonds. And that is the difference between life and death here, because we won't have stoppers. So I think we should just content ourselves with a 3-diamond bid here. And we'll play 3 diamonds. There is the huge ace of diamonds there, enabling us to win 10 tricks. 9 tricks and no trumps, but 10 after this lead are very likely. We'll just lose 1 in each side suit, right? Our 10 of hearts will be promoted to a trick. That's interesting, this card, but there's nothing else for us to do. We'll lose 3 tricks, make 10 tricks, and I think many people will just bash 3 no trumps. So we'll, well, 85% higher than I expected here. The robot, it's curious to see how the robot is a very strange bidder to allow us to stop in with 6 hearts and 6 clubs, a 6-6 hand, bids twice and then gives up, is really something. And nobody tried 3 no trumps. 3 no trumps makes, even with a lot of clubs behind us, because the clubs are blocked, right? We dug twice, but it's lucky. It's quite lucky. Nobody was in 3 no trumps. I don't know. The people who are getting higher probably starting with a double. Or this is another alternative. 5 diamonds. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. 15 high card points. A 1 no trump opening bid. This is a good news, bad news hand, because the high card structure is great. Ace king, ace ace is great, but it's a 4-3-3-3 hand. And It would be improved if the king of hearts were in clubs. It's good to have honors in our long suits. That said, we should open one of trumps because we will never be able to catch up if we open one club. Partner won't play us for 15 ever. And now they are hitting the best lead for their side. We have to hope that the jack of spades is on side. And it's a straight finesse. Of course, we might hope for the ace and king of spades on side and play the queen. But that would be much less likely because we're playing for 2 honors in West rather than 1. And if once we get the lead at some point, eventually we'll try to establish diamonds. That's the plan. Okay, so now it's good for us to save that entry to diamond. And once in a while, the king of diamonds is singleton. So, and now they can cash spades or not. But we have 4 diamonds and ace king, that's 8 tricks. Let's cash them. You don't need the spades here. Queen 9 there. As good as anything there. Maybe somebody unguarded hearts. We have to cash because they have so many high cards outstanding. And now we have no winners at all. We can concede all the cards. So this second hand was 60 something, right? Because no, almost 60 because we are in 71. It's a nothing hand. We couldn't do anything very different here. People who are scoring 9 tricks, let's see how they're doing it by opening 1 club. Maybe they get a different defense. Heart switch shouldn't be that much of a difference here. Ace of diamonds and the diamond. And another diamond. And spades blocked, but even so, the declare has only 8 tricks. Okay, now they're trying to give trouble to West in the ending. And they will. I don't know why, incidentally, because West can see in this next discard that the 10 of hearts is high. If he pitches the heart. Okay, no, this guy pitched the club for no good reason at all. Well, it's hard to predict what the robots will do when they are defending. They are very unpredictable. Okay, a 12 high card point. This is an awkward distribution. 5 diamonds and 4 hearts is always uncomfortable because something like that might happen. And now both 2 diamonds and 1 no trump are less than ideal. And we can be 2 hearts because that would be a reverse. And I like to bid 1 no trumps with this kind of hand, and that therefore to maintain the high expectation of 6 cards when I rebid 2 diamonds. It's not a guarantee, but it's a high expectation. Okay, partner is signing off in spades. We have a minimum. We have no support. The conversation is over. So let's play 2 spades, which is a very reasonable contract. Unfortunately, they are taking out our entry to the long diamonds. We have 4 spade tricks and a 2 aces 6. And our best shot is to induce them to allow us to draw trumps and run diamonds. So maybe we just play top diamond now. And we can discard, play the 9. Maybe that will create some confusion in their ranks. That jack of hearts may come in handy later. Now we draw trumps. And there's no ruff. We can come to our hand and finish drawing trumps. Our devious ploy worked, and we'll lose one more trick. The diamonds are high, so we make 10 tricks. Of course, the defense would have been better to duck the ace of diamonds, but even the robot doesn't give accurate information in defense. From what I know of the robot's habits, I've seen it said that they give accurate count when discarding. I don't know, not that sure. And nobody discarded. So for the defense to get it right here, they would have to, from East's viewpoint, king 8 9, he would have to judge whether the 8 was from, if they are playing upside down, because the 8 is the right card when they're playing upside down, right? If they're playing standard count, you should play the 10. And in this case, that would be I would have to play the deuce, not the 10, not the 9, to leave open the possibility of 4. Anyway, let's move on. But it's interesting for you to discuss with your partner, how could you duck safely from East's viewpoint? How could you protect against declarer having a singleton? Anyway, 1 heart, 2 diamonds, the obvious here, and 2 no trumps, protecting our kings if he decides to move. Now I don't want to rebid no trumps, and I have already limited my diamonds somewhat, so I'll just rebid 3 diamonds, and if he bids 3 hearts, I'll bid 4 hearts. He emphasizes hearts. As it goes, they both. Maybe I think he should just bid 3 no trumps over 2 no trumps with a singleton diamond, my suit. But anyway, let's think about the play here. 9 of diamonds means probably relative shortness, maybe 3, which is a strange lead, but the robots are very strange leaders anyway. So we have 2 spade tricks, possibilities of 2 spade tricks, 2 diamond tricks, 2 club tricks, and 1 heart, that's 7. We might, if this is shortness, he should be long elsewhere. And it's either heart or clubs, because he should be leading spades if he's long in spades. The suit that we advertised weakness in. And so I will start by exploring hearts, which is our longest 7-card suit. Maybe these intermediates will come into its own. So you see, we have all of them. We're missing King Jack 10 now. And how do we continue here? We want to leave this East to win a cheap trick, and maybe, well, I think I do want that. Especially if the King of Diamonds is on side. But is it? He didn't play the King over the 9. Can this robot be leading the 9 from the King? Diamonds, I mean. My question here is whether I should play the ace and another or just a low heart. I'll play the ace and another. It increases the chances that West will win, and I would like West to win this trick. Yeah, he's long in hearts as expected. Not bad. Establishing our tricks. And now we have pretty much 9 tricks, right? And a reasonable chance of 10 if East gets squeezed in diamonds and clubs. So just to make the ending easier, let's cast this ace of diamonds. Then we go to dummy. and play the heart. So since nobody showed the king of diamonds is still out there, we should just try to run clubs. If there was a squeeze, clubs will run. There wasn't. The jack clubs is still outstanding. West was protecting clubs, and so 9 tricks was the limit, and he was long in both hearts and clubs, as you can see. And we got it 78% boards. Top was 4 hearts. How did it get there? Okay, 2 hearts, 4 hearts. This might be reasonable in some other combination of suits, but when partner rebids a suit that doesn't skip over any other suit, which is this case here, 1 heart, 2 diamonds, 2 hearts, there is no guarantee that he has 6. If the bidding had been 1 heart, 1 spade, 2 hearts, the expectation of 6 hearts opposite is really big. He wouldn't, in this case, it's 100%. But if it, let's take another analogous case, 1 spade, 2 clubs, 2 spades, then it's not 100% that he has 6 spades, but it's close to that. He could have a 5-3-3-2 that is inadequate for to no trumps because he has a wide open suit, something like that. But he doesn't have 4 diamonds or 4 hearts because he skipped over those suits. And this auction that we are seeing here, he didn't skip over spades or clubs to rebid his heart, so he could have 4 of either, as it was the case here. So to jump to 4 heart was successful, but was hazardous because, and some people got there and didn't make it. 4 hearts loses 2 heart tricks and a spade, and you have to guess well in diamonds and clubs. Okay, moving on. We have 15, horrible 15. We are vulnerable. So it's risky to bid 1-0 trump here. And on the other hand, not bidding 1-0 trump here may allow them to get to 1-0 trump. And in match points, if they were vulnerable, I would pass. If everybody was vulnerable, I would clearly pass here. But here, I don't want to defend 1-0 trump, not vulnerable. If we have roughly half the deck, one has 6 or 7 high card points, I'd like us to play 1-0 trump and maybe score 90 instead of 50 or 120 instead of 100. So this is a tough decision whether or not to bid 1-0 trump here. 2 clubs is out of the question, by the way. This is a no trump hand. The heart stopper is not great. And anyway, I think one consideration is that many people will bid 1-0 trump. People love to overbid here. So if this was a knockout match, maybe I would pass, but in match points, and I assume that most people will get the urge to bid 1-0 trump. So let's do it. Let's do it also. So a statement inquiry, and we have a minimum. If we were playing imps, especially if I was with partner's hand, we would be tempted to be 3-0 trumps. I think partner should be 3-0 trumps in imps. Vulnerable games cannot be missed in imps. And so, especially when we can assume that the play will be easier since the opponent's high cards are bunched in east. But in match points, there's not that urge to beat game because 150 is bound to be good in a tough hand. Okay, so we have 5 diamond tricks and 2 heart tricks, 7. Certainly one of the aces is on side, certainly. Giving us 8 tricks. 8 tricks is easy. And so he'll win the king. Maybe he'll switch to spades, especially if he doesn't have the ace of spades. Can he not have the ace of spades? And we have 24 high card points, so there's 16 missing. There's barely room for an ace here, barely. So if he has queen jack of spades, maybe he'll switch to spades. We'll see. No. And for us, we have to decide where to win this. And we also have to decide whether we'll lead a black suit before running diamonds or after. As for the second question, if we wanted to lead twice from dummy, do we? We lead it. Not really, because he has two aces. Somebody has two aces. Assuming that East has two aces because he didn't switch to a spade. Well, West can have the ace of clubs. Yeah, that's a reasonable consideration. If we win in dummy and lead a club. But the problem is when East has two aces. If we win in dummy and lead a club, he will win the ace and clear hearts. So maybe it's best for us to leave the and in this hand that we are assuming that East has both black aces, he'll have trouble discarding if we just run diamonds straight away before leading any black card from dummy. Let's try that. We have to win in dummy because we need entries to our hand later. Watch those discards. No hearts are 5-2. East has two diamonds. So his hand is 5-2 something. And he's pitching a heart. Interesting. Wow. So we can pretty much establish two club tricks now. And we'll lose the last two tricks we can claim, making 9 tricks. So as expected, he was put in a hard spot. Well, 93%. Was put in a hard spot by the run of the diamonds. He could have Queen Jack of Spades instead of Ace Jack of Spades. But since West is out of hearts, in that scenario, he can't pitch spades because we can lead a spade and establish our spade trick. Anyway, it's a complicated hand to defend and to play. Okay, 16 high card points. I'm not a big fan of off-shape no trump openers, but this is a case in which I think everybody should lean towards opening 1-0 trump. The club suit is very porous, very bad for any rebidding clubs. It looks more like a 5-club suit than a 5-card suit than a 6-card suit. And we are not Vol versus Vol. And so there is a chance that we will preempt them out of something if we bid 1-0 trump. If we bid 1 club and here 1 spade, pass 3 spades, something like that, we would be unhappy. Okay, 2 spades is spades in a minor, 3 hearts is hearts. Forcing, we have great support, so let's support. And we have 12 tricks after this lead. 6 clubs, 5 hearts, and 1 spade. Unless hearts are 5-0. I don't believe in ghosts, so let's just claim they missed Ace King of Diamonds. So that was a great result. 89%. Shouldn't be that great, actually, because all of these people are not opening 1-0 trumps. Yeah. For instance, this is exactly what would have happened, right? Was spade, three spades. So the owner Trump preempted them a little bit, although East prevaricated when he didn't raise. One old Trump, two spades, three hearts. East has a clear three spade bid. Probably the most common error in bidding is not failing to support partner, by the way. 22 high card points. I will push it a little bit. They hit our weak spot, but we do have 4, 7, 9 tricks, unless they can run 5 diamond tricks, which is very unlikely. Ace, King, Jack, 10, 5th is the only holding in which that is the case. And now we can claim all but one. Normal hand. He guessed spade for us. That was lucky. And the final deal, that's now is an awkward position, partner being a best hand. We want to bid something, and the choices are 2 clubs are double. And double with 3-3 in the major is not that bad. I think I'll choose it. But I have not comfortable with not bidding a nice club suit like that, even though we usually like 6. But okay, let's double and see what will happen. Well, this is what happened. We have nothing to add, and hopefully partner has at least 5 spades. That's more than we deserved. More than we deserve for sure. So the plan here is to duck 2 spades. Spades are probably 3-2. I duck 1 spade and win the next. Hope that they won't be able to attack hearts. They just did. And now we have to decide whether we hop with the ace to discard hearts. So ace of hearts, ace of spades, and clubs. We need clubs 3-3 for this to be reasonable. But East didn't lead a diamond. So the chances that he, the opener, doesn't have the ace, king of diamonds are great. And so he might have the king of hearts. He might be switching to a heart here from the king. If he has, let's say, only 1 diamond honor, no clubs, he basically needs the king of hearts here. So even though it's greedy, I think the risk of him having a singleton club. Remember, this one who Trump bid doesn't have spades or hearts. And so I think I'll bet this, play him for the king of hearts. Yeah. Now we can cash 1 spade. Leave the outstanding. Yeah, the singleton club is there. Now we have a choice of discards to make. We should discard diamonds for sure, because he ruffed and cashed 2 diamonds, but we still have a discard for him. For the heart, if he let us, and now we can play. So we lost 2 spades and 2 diamonds. There's no way we could have avoided that. 96%. How come? What's going on? So we won with 81, but how come 86%? What's going on in this deal? That's what I want to find out. other tables. Can you show me what's going on other tables? Let's see here. This is less annoying than that table. So let's see. People are bidding two clubs clearly. All of these two clubs doubled are non-doublers. What is three diamonds from East? It's a pass. Yeah, that was an interesting hand to end the tournament. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see each other again next Monday. And what else? I usually like to end with a word from my sponsor. And I can just link you to. No, it would take too much time because I didn't open. Just mention to you that instead of showing it to you, I'll mention to you that I placed an ad on the ACBL bulletin. You might have seen it. And it's on page 29, if I'm not mistaken. It's a black square with the sentence, learn from the best. And take a look and get in touch whenever if you feel like investing some effort, some time into upping your game and learning new ways to think about bridge. And that was the word from our sponsors. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next Monday.